Hi, and welcome to Memories in Paper Form, your ultimate destination for all things crafty and creative. Whether you're a seasoned crafter or just starting out, our channel is here to inspire and guide you through an endless creative adventure. Today, we're going to make a card. I've made a mug for a friend of mine. I've sublimated this mug, and I want to make a card to go with it. This mug is for a friend of mine's friend who's just gotten her doctor's, a medical doctor, obviously. And so let's make a card to go with the mug. I might bring a tutorial to the channel later on how to sublimate mugs, but that's another day. Today I have cut this Congrats out of a die I got off Amazon. It is a 3-die bundle that says Congrats Beautiful, and I cannot remember for the life of me what the third one says. It comes with the 2 layering pieces so that all the words, the letters are connected, and it comes with the offset as well. So I've just cut that out of black cardstock, the offset, and cut the words out of white. And then I'm going to put together the gnome that you see. There's the pieces over here. So I'm going to just put together all these pieces to make that gnome. It's just go on a card front, and you'll see it in a minute. This die cuts out beautifully. It is a Temu die. I've had it, I can't remember how long I've had it. I did not buy it specifically for this project, no, but I thought, you know what, this card is going to be so cute, and it'll go nicely with the mug as well. So you'll see me layering all the pieces together here. I've started with the head, just to give it some time to dry. It does attach to a teeny tiny little V at the bottom, which can make it quite difficult to put this one together. There are a lot of really small pieces to this specific die. As you can see, I'm lining the shoes up at the bottom. There are, you can't see them on camera, but there are embossed lines on that die to show you where to line the shoes up at the bottom. And I'm just, you might be able to see it. I am just lining it up with those 2 lines at the bottom, just so I can stick the shoes on. This paper is a little bit thin, so I did cut it out of 2 pieces of paper, so I'm just going to stick those back to back just to give it a little bit more stability. I mean, I don't want a floppy gnome. I do have a little bit of trouble lining it up, as you can see, because the paper is so thin. So I'm just going to line it up nicely, just remove it again, and then just I get it lined up again eventually. I just peel it back up and line it up again. The color of this cardstock is beautiful. It's like a silvery grey, and I love the color. It's just, it was very thin, so I cut it out twice. Now this one is very difficult to put together because it doesn't have a solid background piece like a lot of these dies have. So you have to kind of build it in sections. And this one I had to build, as you see, I built the body and the head, put the shoes on, and then I had to build the hat separate because the hat doesn't show exactly where it should go on the head. You'll see in a minute, I will line it up, but it is so small. And the same, I cut this hat out of 2 pieces of paper as well, just because it's the same paper as the base. But and also this one lined up a little bit easier. But there's no solid base, so there's no single offset to stick all these little pieces to. And as you'll see in a minute, the hat doesn't quite line up with the head. That's because you have to put the hair on first, and that can be a little bit tricky to get this adjustment of where the hair needs to go in terms of proportions to the face. So the first one I lined up pretty well. Sorry, I just have a speck of something on there, so I'm just clearing that off. I'm just lining it up so that the braid falls over the shoulder and almost down to the waistband of the bottom of the I don't know what that's called, to the bottom of the coat. The name of it escapes me. It'll come to me at some point. So scrubs, to the bottom of the scrubs. So you see I'll do the same on the other side, and then I just line it up, and I do end up moving it over slightly and cleaning up some of my mess. I line the hat up, and you'll see there's a little bit too much overlap of the hair, so I end up moving that over. And then you can see that I will be able to stick the hat on and it'll line up so much better. There we go. So yes, as I say, it's a bit tricky, this one. It's fun to put together though. It is fun. It's just not as easy in terms of knowing exactly where everything goes as some of the other dies that I've got that are gnome themed. And as you can see, I do love my gnome dies. I have quite a lot. I'm just adding some pressure to the hat, sticking it to the face at the bottom, and then just clearing off any glue that might have seeped through. Next, I'm going to apply the nose, and now I'm trying to remember whether or not the nose is up over the hat or if it's down a bit lower. And as you can see, I do decide to move it over the rim of the hat slightly, but not quite as far as I was auditioning it earlier. See, just moved it over slightly. There we go. And then you will notice, then it made it slip when I applied some pressure. And then obviously the candy cane is not from this set. I'm going to put the little bows on the hair. This die has a lot of really, really tiny pieces, but those tiny pieces make a huge difference to the actual end result of this die. I'm just applying some pressure with the tweezers to make sure that it sticks because it is so thin there. There we go, both sides are done. And then I will realize I forgot to put the stethoscope on. I would have usually liked to put the stethoscope on before the hair, but I forgot. So I'm just going to, luckily I didn't stick the hair down. I'm just able to lift up the hair and then flip it so that I can put the stethoscope. And then I'm just going to turn it slightly to the one side so that it's not hanging right by the crotchety area of this gnome. So I thought I'd just move it a little bit to the side. And then I'm just going to start putting on all those tiny little pieces. There is a little piece that cuts out for the joining of the stethoscope. And I mean, these pieces are absolutely tiny. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the tip of my tweezer so that I'm able to pick up that little piece there. And funny enough, that is not even the smallest piece in this set. There is a piece that cuts out for the top of the stethoscope, and it is minute. Honestly, it is absolutely tiny. But when you do put that dot on, it makes a huge difference. It just brings that stethoscope to light. Now I'm just putting the paper onto the clipboard, or what will be the clipboard, and just lining it up. Once it's on, apply a little bit of pressure. There we go. And then I'm able to put the next piece on, which is the little golden clip on the clipboard itself. I'm having a little bit of difficulty picking that up, but I mean, it is teeny tiny. Next time I'll use my wax pencil instead. I'm going to leave that to dry as I go and pick up the little triangle for the hat. The little, sorry, not triangle, the cross. Triangle. Where am I getting triangle from? It's late, I'm tired, I must admit. Anyway, so I've put the little red cross on her hat, and then I'm going to move that little heart out because it's not part of this die. It's part of another one that I've cut out. So as you can see, I've got that teeny tiny little gold speck basically on the tip of my finger. And I'm just going to touch the glue lightly, ever so lightly, just so I can pick that up, and then I'm going to line that up on there. And there you see in the end result, it looks really, really good. Now I'm going to put the clipboard in the hand and then attach the hand to the body. I couldn't remember in which hand. I didn't have the picture of this when I was busy putting this one together, and I couldn't remember which hand was which. And then when I tried it on the clipboard, I realized that that's the other hand, so it needs to go on the other side. So now I'm just going to attach this hand arm to the end of her sleeve. applying some pressure, and then just I had a little bit of glue mess out on there, so instead of just wasting it, I've just used it by putting it on the other side. Waste not, want not. And then now I'm just going to slide that clipboard into the little finger. There you go. So that it looks like she's holding the clipboard. I'm going to hold it with my tweezers in the front, flip it over to the back, and then I am going to apply a small amount of glue just to hold it in place. Just like that. And I do believe the last thing that I'm going to do is to put the syringe in her hand, and that will be this die will then be complete. I did on the other one that I used on the card run through with a black pen and put a few markings on it to highlight certain aspects of it, which you can do. This specific one that I'm making here, I have not done that yet, and I won't do that until I actually use it. I forgot about the bell. She gets a little bell at the end of her hat. So yes, and then I just go in and put the little bell at the end of her hat. You don't have to put the bell on. I just think it was a cute little addition to add. And there you go. As you can see, that's my complete embellishment. And I'm going to attach it to the front of a card. Now this is what the base of the card is going to look like. And if you have a look, you'll be able to see that the base of the card is a pre-made base that I got. The pre-made base, that's a Violet Studios base that I bought at the Works. It was a pack of card bases that came with some elements as well. So all I've done was just use the pre-made base. There you see, it's definitely a Violet Studios Decoupage card kit. And I've just used the base page, and then the colored green paper was from that kit as well. So I'm just going to put this together, layering those two pieces up, and then I've got my elements there. And I did notice that when I put the elements on the front of the card, that they kind of disappeared. So I thought it would be a good idea to put a band through the front just to give the elements a place to land. So there I've gone through, and I'm just straightening up this piece of craft cardstock I've got here, just to make sure that it's straight. I mean, that we don't want a wonky piece of card on there. So now I've got the 3 pieces, and I'm just going to layer them up using my ATG gun just to apply the tape so that I can adhere the front panel to the card base. I'm running around all 4 sides because I don't want this piece to lift up at all. And I've put a piece in the middle as well. My Scotch ATG gun is a lifesaver. I love this thing. It is absolutely fantastic. It is an investment because the actual gun itself is quite expensive. However, the tape can also be a bit pricey. But if you can find it, you can buy it in bulk on Amazon. That's where I buy mine that I'm using at the moment. But it is an absolute lifesaver. I'm just scoring down the side. I couldn't find my bone folder, so I'm just using the round barrel of the pen. And now I'm just going to apply tape to the bottom of this piece that I cut through, this border strip basically, and I'm just going to apply it to the bottom third, I suppose, of that green strip, just to sort of break that pattern up and give my elements somewhere to live. I'm going to put my congrats on the top, and I'm going to put my little gnome in the front in the center. And there you have it. I'm just going to stick it down flat. I'm not popping this one up on foam because this gnome is a little bit flimsy because of the cardstock that I used. I don't want to pop it up on foam and have the risk of it bending and buckling in the post. So I am going to just adhere it flat down to the card base, and then I'm going to put the congrats on the top. Making sure everything is pressed down nicely. Again, I'm just putting the congrats on the top. I had to do the voiceover for this because for some reason the sound when I actually did the original recording was corrupt, and you couldn't hear anything. So I'm assuming I was explaining to you where I got those dies from in that moment, and that's why I was sort of like speaking about the dies. But yeah, so I managed to keep the audio, however, the video, but the audio was corrupt and I couldn't use the audio at all. So now I'm just pressing down all the little corners of that gnome, making sure she's secure, and that's it. Now I'm just going to run my pen. This is a gel pen, and I'm just going to do dot dot dash around the corners of the card just to give it a little bit of extra detail. And I'm just doing dots and dashes, literally 2 dots and a dash, 2 dots and a dash, and that just gives the corners a little bit of additional sparkle, I suppose. I'm going to finish up all 4 corners like that. I will go back and finish that one up on the upper, there you see, on the upper left hand corner. I go back and finish that. I nearly forgot it. So there we go. And I will just add a few more here and there just to finish it up. Make sure I'm happy with the size of those dots and to make sure that they're clear. I do go in with some enamel dots, which I don't believe I show you in this video. I do go in with a couple of enamel dots just to finish it off. And there you go, that is my finished card. And again, it's to go with this stunning mug that I sublimated. And it's going to be a gift for a friend of mine. And I absolutely can't wait to see what they think. It is a Cricut mug. It's a 15-ounce Cricut mug, which is their sublimation blanks. I have tried other mugs in the past, specifically ones that come off of Amazon, and I haven't been too thrilled with the quality. So let's hope these Cricut ones are better quality than those. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Goodbye.